Welcome back to the Artefactors Union. I'm your host and foreman, Doug of the Scoundrels, and today we are assembling Cayce Jones, singular model for the Explorers Society faction in the Seeker and Syndicate keyword. Cayce Jones is a poor man that apparently has been fused with a train, and also he's a ghost thing. Sucks to be him. That's his artwork. Here's the render on the back. Man, train, crossbuck, what's not to love? Let's look at the sprue now. Here's our sprue. We'll grab E6, the body first, and then we'll do these two flamey bits, who I believe are attached to his back, E7 and E8. Once we figure out how those go in, we can do rib cage, and then attach the train bit. I believe those two need to go on before you can attach the front of the steam engine. After that, we can do his left arm, the whistle, that's the train whistle that's attached to him. And then after that, we can take out the crossbuck, add the bell to the crossbuck, and attach it to his right arm, and we will be done. So now let's look at the instruction, then grab E6, E7, and E8. Okay, we've got Cayce's body, E6. I'm going to flip him over for the next two pieces. E7, which is, I believe, the bigger bit. It's going to go in on this side with the flames pointing towards the camera, so backwards. And then E7 will fit in, E8 will fit in over here. So let's do E7 first. Okay. That's what it looks like. Let's look at the other side to see our space for E8. Now let's add that. Same situation, the flames will be pointing towards the back. Okay, that's in. I think this gap right here might actually be covered up by the ribs. That's why it's, gappy there. But those are those two bits, so we can move on to our ribs. Our first set of ribs are going to be on this side. It's going to attach roughly around there. I don't know specifically where quite yet, but it is going to be E9. These are upside down. You'll want to put them right side up before we try to attach them. Now let me figure out how those go in. All right, there are the ribs. It's kind of unintuitive as to how they go in, but you see that this semicircle does encircle part of the chest hole pretty well. But one thing you can definitely tell that it fits in the right use, you can see there is a connection point right in there where half of it is on this bit and half of it is on the rib. So if that aligns, you're doing it correctly. But yes, this gap is supposed to be in there because exploding and rib cage and stuff. But that's what it looks like. So now let's go over to the other side and grab our other ribs, and I think they're supposed to go in here, but we will see. Those ribs are bit suspense. E10. Yeah, that's exactly where it goes. That looks good. You can see sort of completes the circle. So now we can jam the front of the train engine in there, which is E5. This guy. Okay, train chest thing is on. I'm going to maybe try and fill in those gaps before I continue. But we're more or less done with his torso. So now we can add his left arm, which is back here, which is not where a left arm's supposed to be on his body, but I'm assuming the whole chest exploding thing is probably why it's back here, which has got to be super uncomfortable. But I'll go ahead and add that. I know part of it sort of comes back around here. So let's grab that. That's E1. Yeah, there we go. That's it perfectly. It fits in that on that connection point we pointed out earlier, where you know that the rib cage is in correctly on the part going back. Apparently, some flames. So next is the train whistle, and I can already see a connection point right there on the bit that was the rib cage. So let me figure out how that goes in. The train whistle is going to be E4 right there. Okay, that spot I pointed out seems to be the only point of connection. It's fairly solid once you get it on here, but there is a very obvious connection point on the other side of the bit here. And then I got it so that the glue grabbed hold of it and then just slid it over with the knife until it looked good, and it does look good. So I'm not going to fiddle with it much anymore. We're done with his body. We only got two bits left. Let's grab E3 and then add E2 to it. Alright, this is the back of our crossbuck. And I don't think the instructions got it right. It's pointing to it connected down here. But there is a connection point right in here. You can kind of see how nice that kind of bean shape is. And that will connect right there. So combine those two. Okay, I'm not sure if that was exactly how it went in or not. I decided to rotate it just to match the render, so the flapper of the bell is over to our right. But it looks good. As long as it looks good, it'll be fine regardless of if it matches the render perfectly. But we can see where this attaches to his wrist, so let's do that now. That's attached. It looks good. Let's put him on a base. All done. Cayce Jones is all done, and that's it for this box. He is, looks like he's in a lot of pain, but the model is very, very pretty. Hardest part was figuring out the ribs, especially the ribs on the left, and then getting that whistle bit on there, but it's sitting pretty solid, so I'm fairly confident that's exactly where it's supposed to go. Other parts of it weren't nearly as hard, especially the flames in the back. I thought that would be real weird, but it turned out not to be. But yeah, that's really all I gotta say. So, I have been your foreman, Douglas Scoundrels, helping you build a better Malifaux. Read your contracts, folks.